Talent. Talent. Good morning, members. I'm still trying to get hold of the chairperson.
Secretary,
Mr. Person,
can we please proceed, elect a chairperson and move on with the work? It's 5 minutes past. We cannot wait for the chairperson. He knew and he should take the lead to be first on. So can we elect a chairperson, please?
good morning, members. We are struggling to get hold of the chairperson. I advise that the members elect a chairperson until the chairperson of the committee can be located.
My hand is up,
Ms.
Nosipho.
Matuba. Yes, Ms. Matuba.
Yes, I second the suggestion that we appoint a chairperson, and therefore I will propose the name of Comrade Grace, Honorable Member Grace Seke.
Yes, Mama Matuba. Who is seconding Ms. Matuba?
I will second that. Thank you.
Ms. Seke?
Thank you very much, Nosipho, and greetings to all the honorable members present in this meeting. Let me take this opportunity and welcome you in the meeting. It's unfortunate that we can't get hold of the chair, but as soon as he connects, I would then request him to take over, because I've got a meeting of powers and privileges which will start at 10 o'clock also, but I'll remain connected. And Nosipho, can you fly to the agenda? Let me welcome the department present, the legal advisor from Parliament, Mrs. Nkema, who is connected. I think I saw you, the DG, and all the officials present. Let me warmly welcome you. The agenda is flighting before or you, honorable members. Can we observe a moment of silent meditation and or prayers? Thank you so much. Third item, apologies. Nosipho, do you have any other apology?
No, Mr. Seke, there's no apology that I received.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we go to the fourth item, honorable members? which is consideration and adoption of the National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency Limited Bill. Mrs. Ngema? Are you the one who will present? Mrs. Ngema? Hello, am I audible, members?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Right. Sister Ngema, are you connected? But I saw your name here.
Greetings, members. Greetings to everyone in the platform. Indeed, I am in the meeting. I was just speaking to the chairperson on the Select Committee for Health and Social Services. He needed me to clarify something for him. Basically, today, I thought the other committee support would be taking the members through, but the meeting today is meant for the adoption of the B bill, the B version that we had to work on and incorporate the amendments into the bill. I'm not sure whether the meeting wants us to flight it up and present the whole provision of the bill with all the clauses that it has, but it's a B version that takes into account all the changes that were suggested through. So I'll be guided by the chairperson as to what to do in that regard or how to take it forward. But it is the adoption day of the B bill as having incorporated the proposals and adopted changes that were wanted by the committee. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nkema. Generally, how do you process it? I'm quite sure that members have gone through it, but I just want to check the procedure in terms of how do we then process it? Are we supposed to flight it and allow our official to take us through, or generally, what do you do? Maybe guide us, Ms. Nkema.
Chairperson, generally what happens is either the content advisor or myself or the committee secretary can put it up, and then like we did with the A list, we just explain the clause by clause and for the members then whether they want to adopt it as a whole, because it was given to the members and we present the B version, or we go clause by clause once again, but not reading it in detail as was done when we were doing the deliberations. So it's always a preference by each committee as to how they go about doing that.
Okay. Members, how do you want us to approach this process? It's a B version. I think this is the one that you are going to adopt for the tabling of the parliament. I think this is the last leg of our interaction before the adoption of the bill. How do you want us to process it? To me, I don't have any problem just to allow one of our staff or Pumelele to present it, so that we can be able to make sure that what we have inserted in the bill, it's what is captured is the final version of what we wanted. Members? Matuba, Honorable Matuba.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, honorable members, department, and officials from the legislature, the parliament. Chair, my proposal on this matter is that if we can look at the clauses which were affected versus what is presented. Maybe if the discussions previously was on the clause 5, let's go to clause 5, clause 11, all those clauses that were affected. And if there are changes that emanated from us changing those clauses, maybe to read differently, and they start to indicate to us this has impacted on clause number so and so of the bill whilst we were dealing with the presentation. I think that way we will be able to save time. But one was able to go through the bill, and we have cross-referenced the clauses that were affected during the previous times during the first draft as per our discussion. I think if you can take it that way, it will help us to save time, because we are quite comfortable with the objectives. We are quite comfortable with certain chapters, and those ones which were affected, I think let's deal with those ones and proceed from there. That will be my submission, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Matuba. Thank you for your input. Is there any other honorable member who wants to make a proposal? I don't see any hand. I think let's move with that matter. Mrs. Ngema, I would allow you to take us through because we have started this process with you. Mrs. Ngema, just go to those clauses that we have made some effect some changes before we can be able to adopt it.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. I'm trying to find the document so that I can share it and take members through.
Okay.
On the first one, and here on the second one. But the first one, what is the problem? What is it?
Chairperson,
I'm not quite sure whether I hear or I not hear.
I'm trying to.
If you can tell me, Chairperson, make it sound.
To get out of this other meeting, as I indicated. Chairperson, can you see the document? Is it showing on the other end?
No, it was showing, but when you stop the other meeting, it also
stopped. Okay.
also stopped. Yeah.
I'll try again, Chair. I'm sorry about that.
Right.
As I indicated to the committee secretary, I'm double booked and I'm trying by all means to be possibly everywhere.
Oh, okay. Now we understand the kind of work that you are doing, especially now that all the committees are processing the bills. So we understand.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm trying to remove the option of the video this side.
But we can see the document as much as it's, I think which page, I'm not quite sure which page is this. Maybe
it's the A list. It's the A list that I decided, which basically contains, I decided to put up, which contains the clauses that were changed. So the clauses that were changed, Chairperson, was clause 1. And in respect of clause 1, mainly the changes relate to the omission and rejection of clause 5, and that is why we had to correct the numbering in terms of the reference sections that are within the bill. And that's basically what clause 1 does. And then we also had to relook at the waterwork definition, aligning it with the existing legislation and making sure that there won't be any other legal concerns that may arise in respect thereof. So that is the proposal that was presented before the committee last time, and it was accepted in respect of clause 1. In respect of clause 3, Chairperson, it was also a cleanup, which we were removing the reference to shareholding in terms of the establishment of the agency to say that shares will be held solely by the minister since it's a state agency. And then the second change is just a correction in terms of references, because, as I said, of the clause 5 that was rejected. So the next one, it's also effected in the bill. The numbering in clause 5 has been changed. That's what B bill is indicating as we speak. And then under clause 7 was the clause that deals with the establishment, with the appointment of the board members, as well as the functions of the agency. So everything that was spoken to the involvement of the National Assembly, the dropping down of the numbers is dealt with on the nominations committee, and all the it's running now, and all the consequential changes that had to happen. And so, Chairperson, in respect of clause 9, no, it's clause 8 first. Under clause 8, again, it's basically proper referencing to the sections because of the removal of clause 5. But what happens in clause 9, members would recall that we had an issue, members deliberating that the new board cannot come in without having anything to guide them how to conduct themselves. So this is a provision that will amend F and speak to the issues that members had raised, that they must at least adopt an interim code of conduct, but within a space of 6 months, they must have found their own and established and determined their own code of conduct, which must be approved by the minister. Clause 11, Chairperson, is the process of the nominations committee that would assist the minister in ensuring that the proper qualified persons are part of the board. So what is happening there, Chairperson, is that the changes that were required have been effected, and more so, there was an indication that 4A, Roman figure 1, 2, 3, must also be same taken for people that will form part of the nominations committee. And so point 3 is achieving exactly that, Chair, in the amendment, and it's in the A list, and therefore it has been effected on the B bill as well. And then the rest, Chairperson, was just the correction, the consequential corrections that were necessary in light of all the deliberations and the changes that are made under clause 11. In respect of number 9, Chairperson, remember there was an issue that was raised with not wasteful expenditure, where the committee, the nominations committee would have engaged on the process, and then for a reason that the number is not sufficient, and then nobody gets appointed into the board of the agency. So sub 8 is now providing that if insufficient number of suitable persons are recommended in terms of the section, the minister may appoint those suitable and recommend to the nominations committee the outstanding number in line with subsection 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, whilst confirming the appointment of those designated and must be appointed in terms of subsection 7. So if they are suitably qualified, even if the number is not fully sufficient, those may be appointed and then recommit the process again for the outstanding number. And then on clause 14, again, Chairperson, it was just the changes to ensure the cross-referencing is correct in light of the provision that was removed. The same with clause 15, it incorporates the same thing and achieves the same result. Then on clause 17, as the deliberations noted, there was an issue on simple majority and different types of majority when the sub-delegated committees of the committee are engaging. And eventually it was agreed that we need to be clear that the decision of those sub-delegated committees must be 75% majority of the members within that sub-delegated committee of the agency or of the board. And that is what clause 17 then achieves with the consequential changes that are necessary for cross-referencing. The same for clause 20 is achieved, Chairperson, to correct the cross-referencing, which basically is what I pointed out to say if clause 5 was to be rejected, the crisis would only be for us to have to make sure that the bill still aligns, and that is exactly what is done with the proposals and the adopted A list in terms of clause 20, clause 22, and clause 24. Under clause 27, Chairperson, the same as well with regards to number 1, and clause 31 as well, the proper cross-referencing once the rejected clause was removed. And then in clause 34 was the issue of not leaving out a blanket check to the agency and the minister, but it is an addition where we spoke to the issue that members raised under clause 8 of 34, which will be section 34.8, once the bill is assented to and if the members approve. that the minister must table in Parliament the revised corporate plan every year once the initial corporate plan has been determined and approved by the minister in terms of this section. The proposal takes into account the separation of powers and the need for Parliament to play oversight role and not necessarily be also a referee within the game when the agency is running its functions and obligations. So clause 35, Chairperson, also achieved the same. We added the provision that will speak to the minister must table in Parliament the annual report of the agency for consideration every year once the minister has received it in terms of this act. This again will enable the committee and the Parliament to receive the report so that they can interrogate it and have first-hand information and deal with whatever arising oversight issues that may come up. And that is the change already effected in the B bill. So clause 38, Chairperson, is also similarly to those that were correcting the cross-referencing, as well as clause 48. We have also given the instruction that because of the removal of that one, arrangement of sections within the first part of the bill must be corrected, as well as the memorandum on the objects of the bill, which has been effected in the B bill version. I'm going to stop this one, Chairperson, and just maybe flight the B bill version without having to talk to it, because what is here is already what is incorporated into the B bill version. I thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we are fine with that process. You can flight the full version of the B bill, the final one. Welcome, Chairperson. Honorable Mashiko Robert.
Thanks, Samia.
Good morning and good morning.
There we go, Chairperson.
Yes, can you continue?
Is it showing on your end, Chairperson?
Yes, it is. It is, Ms. Nkema. It is.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Greetings, Chairperson. I apologize for interfacing while you were talking. This is now basically the new bill, which is no longer the bill as introduced by the minister, but it is now the South African National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency SOC Limited bill as agreed to by the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation. It is now no longer just a number 24 of 2023, but it is a B version, which is why we always reference to the B version. It's a bill that incorporates the changes that were proposed by the committee. And in light of the report once adopted of the committee, this is the bill that will go together with the committee report to the National Assembly for second reading and passing thereof. So members would see, for an example, there under Chapter 2, that we no longer have the provision that was making reference to the Companies Act application. As they said, we must remove them. And so the numbering has already been corrected, and all the changes that members had wanted has been effected, as I said. Even as we look at the last provision, the commencement and short title, since the bill was introduced in 2023, and that's why it's a B40 something of 23. But now, if all goes well properly, it will have to be a 2024 act when the president assents. Even that correction has been effected, as well as the necessary changes into the memo of the objects of the bill. So everything, Chairperson, we have checked it and it has been done. And the B bill version is ready for members to consider and adopt it according to the rules of Parliament. I thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Mrs. Ngema, and thank you for your hard work since day one up until thus far, and even to the legal advice from the legal persons from the department. I think we have worked well so far, and all the members of parliament across political parties who have made some inputs to be where we are today. I think I would then allow members to adopt this bill, or to adopt this bill as a true reflection of what have been discussed in the previous meeting. Members, this is your bill. This is our bill. This is our legacy for the sixth administration. I will then invite members of this committee to make some inputs or adopt this bill. Members? Oh, I can't see your hands.
My hand is up.
Chairperson.
Oh, let me start with Honorable Hanif, number one. Secondly, number two, Honorable Bason, followed by Honorable Musala, followed by Honorable Matuba, and followed by the chair, Honorable Mashego. In that order, Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and thank you very much for the hard work that has been done. But I'm just a bit confused. I know that we wanted Parliament to be in charge of consequences, and that not only the Companies Act. And I'm surprised that you actually remove the consequences in terms of the Companies Act. There's nothing wrong with that. All we wanted is to make sure that Parliament is the kingmaker. Parliament makes the final decisions, and that you have done very well. But I can't understand why we remove the provisions of the Companies Act as well, because, as you know, at the moment the city of Joburg is in a mess because there's no consequences. There's no water provision, and my poor executive mayor now gets all the blame because the board messes up and the director general messes up, and Joburg is now in chaos on the eve of an election. So I just want to put on the table that I feel that the Companies Act is an additional support measure to ensure consequences because we cannot deny people their human rights to have water, which the department is guilty of now in many areas of Joburg, and causing my political party a lot of distress because they blame the party, don't even blame the mayor for the mess that is being created because there's no water provision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Hanif. But I would advise you to read the bill in its entirety. Just look at the clause now, that clause 9, that speaks to the Companies Act and the PFMA. But I was listening to you, whether you agree with this, or you're just complaining, or you're just raising your concerns, Honorable Hanif. But nonetheless, it's okay. It's fine with us, or fine with me. Next, Honorable Leon.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to all the colleagues. Chairperson, in the current form of this bill, the DA will not support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The party mandate. Honorable Musala, EFF, Economic Freedom Front.
No, thanks so much, Honorable Grace. I don't have much to say, just to abstain on behalf of the Economic Freedom Fighters. We are abstaining on behalf of the Economic Freedom Fighters from the bill. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Honorable, we are taking note. Secretary, take note of all the inputs from the members. EFF is abstaining. Honorable Miyoko Matuba.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The ANC will support the bill in its current form.
Okay. Thank you. Any seconder? Honorable Matuba is supporting this bill in its current form. Matshiho, I think you're the next.
Thank you, Chair. I want to support the bill in its entirety. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Tseki, you must raise your hand. Don't just jump to the meeting. Thank you so much, Honorable Mashego. I think, honorable members, is there any other person who have raised the hand? Let me see. Mohlala is the legacy. Matuba is the legacy hand. Mashego is the legacy hand. Yeah, I think we are fine thus far. These are the hands. All the hands have been recognized. Thank you very much. I think all the inputs from the members are recorded. The DA, the EFF, and the African National Congress, and Hanif too. Yeah, Hanif, I'll advise you to read this bill. Thank you so much, honorable members. I take it that you are done with the bill. It's going to be surely 80 seat this afternoon or this evening or tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much for your hard work. And Chairperson Mashego, thank you for driving this bill up to thus far. We really appreciate your hard work and your guidance. Thank you so much. Is there any other item? Nosipho? Mrs. Ngema, thank you so much for your support throughout.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. With your permission, may I request to be excused? I've got another meeting.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you
Thank you very much.
You can stay, Bonge.
I'm in charge now. I'm in charge. and surely, if it's 80 seat this evening, definitely, Honorable Leon, it will be debated next week in Parliament. So let's just get ready as political parties. Yeah, surely next week is Parliament session. So
Thank you,
yeah.
Chair.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ngema. Any other matter? Consideration and adoption of the draft legacy report of this Parliament from 2019 to 2024. I'll therefore hand over this item and the meeting to the chair of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Mashego. Mashego, can you take us through?
Thank you, Chair. Somebody's mic is on. There is a sound at the background. If we can just...
It was Honorable Leon. It was Leon, but I think it's muted.
Okay. Sherin, we are in your hands. Welcome, everybody. Good morning.
Chairperson,
Morning, Chair.
I'm just struggling. I'm struggling with my audio, but I'll put up the...
Move a bit, Sherin. Move a bit where you are.
No, I'm using my mobile for sound.
Yeah, but you can't... There is a sound at your back.
Hello, am I clearer now?
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Sherin.
Okay, am I clearer now?
You are.
Okay, thank you. Okay, members, I have submitted the draft report to members, and I'm going to go through the yellow highlighted sections, because those were the amendments or revisions that were made emanating from the previous meeting.
Okay.
So In this final draft, what I did was that I provided contextual sentences to allow the reader to group the intended meaning more clearly by providing a relevant context. So if you look at the highlighted sections, I shifted the sections. The key findings and recommendations was after the final recommendations. And then I highlighted and put in the context the committee and its oversight of the water and sanitation sector in South Africa in the period under review initially highlighted the following challenges inherent in the sector, but sustained oversight on these aspects resulted in improvements in several areas. Hello?
We hear you. We hear you.
I'm sorry
Continue,
about
Sherry.
that. Okay, and then, but sustained oversight on these aspects resulted in improvements in several areas within the sector. Then I moved on to the key areas for future work. In the 7th Parliament, the committee should continue monitoring, tracking, and overseeing the following initiatives undertaken by the committee in the 6th Parliament, with specific emphasis on the itemized issues highlighted below. The reason for this is that it's important for the members of the 7th Parliament to also engage on previous work that was done. And the specifics are in italics: continue addressing, prosecuting, and charging implicated individuals and companies in transgression within the entire water and sanitation value chain. Implementation of the National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency. The next sections just highlight the department and entities falling within the committee portfolio. The Department of Water and Sanitation, and it gives a quick overview of Program 1 Administration, Program 2 Water Resources Management, Program 3 Water Services Management, and this just highlights the budget estimates for the period under review. The entities under the department, within the department: TCTA, Water Research Commission, Catchment Management Agencies, and water boards. Challenges highlighted by the committee in undertaking its oversight mandate over the department and its entities in the period under review were noted. In this section, members, please note that all the areas of work that the committee had done is captured under broad thematic areas. So the first one, sustainability and benefit of bulk water and sanitation infrastructure projects for specific sectors of the South African population, combines a whole range of concerns raised during this period by members. So this legacy report obviously can't detail every single meeting. So what it did is use a thematic approach to highlight some areas of concern as well as some of the challenges that members confronted in undertaking oversight of the department. Another issue was the transformation of the water sector, that is the issuance of water use licenses, access to water and sanitation, ongoing oversight of consequence management, sustainable infrastructure development with emphasis on operations and maintenance of wastewater and water treatment plant schemes. And all of the information in the subsequent paragraphs provide further detail on what the theme actually encompasses. strengthening institutional capacity to undertake the department's and its entities' work, progress report on concluding amendments to the National Water Act and challenges in intersectoral cooperation and regulation, institutional reform and support for effective water service delivery. The mandate of municipalities in water service delivery, and this was one of the main issues that was highlighted consistently by the committee members. Pollution of rivers and streams was also brought to the fore, and then challenges encountered in implementing the Regional Bulk Infrastructure and Water Services Infrastructure Grant. Chair, in red, I thought it's useful to put down that the audit findings emanating from the budgetary review and recommendation report of the committee for the 2022-23 financial year, the Auditor General South Africa provided us a lengthy briefing document in terms of looking at the improvement of the department over the various administrative periods. And that section talks about, while the committee noted the devised turnaround strategies and advisory committees established by previous administrators, it reinforced sustained oversight of the Auditor General's response to the committee's 2022-23 budgetary review and recommendation report. Auditor General highlighted in a detailed briefing document a graphic representation of improvement over different administrative terms, which reflect the following. And it gives you 2019-20, 21-22, 22-23. Whilst the department received an unqualified audit opinion, the Auditor General maintained that the audit outcomes were with findings on predetermined objectives and compliance, controls around the preparation of accurate performance reports, audit action plans should be monitored effectively, financial statements and annual performance reports should be reviewed for material misstatements, delays in investigating irregular expenditure and allegations against officials led to delays in implementing consequence management. However, the department has improved compliance with legislation compared to the prior year. The water trading entity's internal control environment stayed the same as the previous year, resulting in unchanged audit outcomes with an unqualified opinion, but findings on compliance with legislation. The entity corrected all significant errors during the audit, but still had non-compliance issues. While some internal control aspects were maintained, management failed to implement sufficient preventative measures to prevent non-compliance with legislation in financial statements, expenditure management, consequence management, procurement and contract management. In particular, inadequate preventive controls like a compliance checklist led to irregular and wasteful expenditure totaling 26 million and 70 million respectively in the 22-23 financial year. So the audit findings are of the 22-23 financial year. The members in the 7th Parliament will look back on the 22-23 findings and then analyze the 23-24 annual report and then perhaps track the extent to which the department has made improvements from the 22-23 financial year. The TCTA received an unqualified audit outcome with compliance findings, highlighting the need to strengthen controls around legal compliance, monitor audit action plans effectively to prevent recurring issues, and ensure financial statements are thoroughly reviewed for accuracy before submission. The AG argued that while some progress has been made in implementing consequence management, further action is required to address historical irregular expenditure in line with Treasury guidelines and organizational policies, as a slow implementation continues to impact audit results. On the other hand, the Water Research Commission maintained an unqualified audit outcome with no findings and predetermined objectives of compliance with legislation. The entity demonstrated a robust internal control environment for financial and performance information, recording and reporting, and strict adherence to relevant laws. This resulted in a clean audit for the 2023 financial year for the Water Research Commission. The next section just highlights the functions and mandate of the committee, the key statistics. Chairperson, on the 2021, I'm just going to verify, once again, I asked the committee secretary to verify the stats for 2022, for 2020. And I will amend and verify that and put the correct details if it's incorrect. The briefings and public hearings, once again, there's a contextual sentence which reads, this section provides a synopsis of formal briefings by the committee listed as 4.2.1 below, and more detailed information listed in sections 4.2.2 to 4.2.5 on critical matters that required sustained turnaround strategies by the department to address these. Detailed information related to ongoing work on internal investigations and proclamations issued for the Special Investigation Unit to undertake on transgressions within the department's ability to address challenges relating to audit findings, related to its ability as a going concern, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure, increased amounts of accruals and payables over the years, provincial initiatives to address water and sanitation issues within the implementation plans, and debt owed for water service provision at all spheres of government. Those were some of the briefings that members received from the department. Please note that all briefing documents are available for further perusal by members of the 7th Parliament. Here, I just touched on some of the formal briefings that the committee undertook, which emphasized the mandatory component of work, such as interrogating the budget vote, annual performance plans, and annual performance plans of the department and its entities, with its sustained oversight and the findings of the Auditor General South Africa. Other important briefings related to assessing the financial and non-financial performance on crucial priority infrastructure projects across the country. The committee raised several issues on the department's financial status regarding accruals and payables, underspending, irregular expenditure, and fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Other areas of formal briefings of oversight undertaken by the committee relate to the challenges relating to vandalism and criminal activities, the progress report on the bucket eradication program, regulatory measures to protect both and ecological resources, such as protection of water sources, rivers, streams, weirs, and assessing compliance to requirements contained in the blue, green, and no-drop regulatory standards. Preliminary briefings were held on the water and sanitation legislation revisions, water use authorizations to ensure that 80% of applications to authorize water use are finalized within 90 days, the efficacy of initiatives by the 3 spheres of government to ensure water security in the country through increased water use efficiency and conservation management was a significant topic for the committee. In light of the analysis of the water sector with the culmination of the National Water and Sanitation Master Plan, this plan will guide the water sector with investment planning for developing water resources and delivering water and sanitation services until 2030 and beyond. However, the department and the committee acknowledged the National Infrastructure Plan 2015, warning that tackling South Africa's water management problems will become more challenging due to increasing water demand from economic growth and urbanization. I put that section in to highlight that whilst there are serious challenges, the projection of engaging with these challenges is within the current administration of the department. Then there was finalization of internal departmental arrangements and SIU interventions, briefing by provincial departments of water and sanitation on district implementation plans for the 2021 financial year. The next section looks at audit findings and accruals and payables under expenditure, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and irregular expenditure. That graph, I think, highlights the movement in terms of addressing those issues. Another a huge area that members talked about and engaged critically on was the debt management of bulk water provision between spheres of government in terms of the legislative compliance. The one legislation that we looked at, its deliberations on the bill on the 12th of March today. That was just one. Then the oversight trips. Please note that whilst this section provides a comprehensive summation of the oversight visits undertaken by the committee over the period under review, substantive information is contained in the adopted and tabled reports in the parliamentary publications, announcements, tablings, and committees for ease of reference in the 7th Parliament. So that was a trip to Limpopo and Gauteng. The Lesotho Highlands Water Project, the Eastern Cape Province, the oversight visit to the Vembe District Municipality in 2022, oversight visit to the Free State Province, 29 to the 31st of March, 23, Giani Bulk Water Project, the petitions between 2019 and 2023, the committee received several petitions, the Bonero Park petitions. And all of these reports were adopted and tabled. The petition from the Nandoni Complaints Resolution Commission, petition from the residents of northern and northeastern suburbs of Rustenburg, petition from the residents of Warrenton in Northern Cape. This report was also adopted and tabled by this committee. One of the challenges was that the Portfolio Committee reiterated its recommendation that petitions on water service provision should be referred to the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs as they fall within the competency of local government. Summary of outstanding issues relating to the department. Other matters. Okay, the summary of outstanding issues relating to the department and entities. Although the department and its entities responded to committee recommendations, the committee's timeframes for submissions of responses were not consistently adhered to. That was in the initial stages between 2019 and 2020. That was a serious problem and members addressed it. And subsequently, there was some improvement. The obligations conferred on committee by the legislation, that is the Money Bills Amendment Procedure and Related Matters Act, to assess each national department's performance and its entities annually. The committee considers the departments and the entities' performance annually. The budgetary review and recommendation report assesses service delivery performance given available resources and the efficiency and effectiveness of resource use and forward allocation. Over the 5-year period, some of the key recommendations to the Minister of Water and Sanitation and other role players in the water and sanitation sector for the period are reflected in the section below. This ties in with some of the findings of the Auditor General. The department should develop internal controls and instruments to monitor and eliminate irregular, wasteful, and fruitless expenditure. The committee will continue to monitor budgets and request quarterly reports and consequence management. The department implements the Auditor General's findings and provide written reports. Effective data management is needed to improve the Office of the Auditor General's recurring findings. The department and other critical stakeholders in the water value chain ensure that water services authorities devise effective operations plans to manage schemes sustainably. And that just gives a recommendation on the short-term measures that the department could use. The department should fast-track and finalize investigations, apply consequence management on those officials. The water trading entity must hasten to remedy operations and maintenance concerns concerning its infrastructure to ensure adequate repair and maintenance. The department must develop a national action plan to address water losses. And I think a lot of the 22-23 recommendations by this committee will be taken up by the committee in the 7th Parliament. Initially, there were challenges with regard to the lack of responses from the department on previous budgetary review and recommendation report and budget vote recommendations. In the 7th Parliament, should consider following up on the following concerns that arose. The department's budget spending is not in line with service delivery performance. There are high budget expenditures, but poor performance against set targets in some programs. Quality and reliability of performance data and consequence management for poor performance and transgressions. The recommendations to strengthen committee work in the 7th Parliament. There is a need for a systematic and standard mechanism to ensure that all issues raised are addressed and detailed responses are presented in the reports of the committee once they have been addressed within the requested time frame. Strengthen links and close working relationships with other parliamentary committees. Hold midterm strategic planning sessions to review or amend the committee's strategic plan. Training committee members and staff is essential to refresh and enhance skills for effective oversight. Regular committee management meetings will strengthen the committee's regular planning and communication. As I mentioned previously, a 3-year strategic plan was submitted for consideration. However, due to time constraint, a strategic planning workshop could not be held. Instead, the committee opted to run training and developmental workshops for members on sector-specific work. Immediately after the outcome of the election, members had to deal with the budget vote and annual reports. So there wasn't really time to undertake a strategic planning workshop. And the last one, 4.12, is the master attendance list. I thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Chairperson. Hello?
Yes, thank you very much. There is still a master attendance register on the screen. But I think the members are still wanting to look at it if they can. But the case as it might be, thank you very much. There's the report, members. This is a very detailed work of the committee since 2019 to date. And I think that it purely represents generally everything that we did, where we disagreed, that where we recommended, where we were raising our issues. It is very, very, very sad. I think but let me hear you. The report is very clear and very informative. It can inform the 7th Parliament about the work we did and what they must do to take the work forward. But let me see hands if there are any.
My hand is up, Honorable Chair.
I can see. Let me just look. Hanif, I will talk to you just now. There are 2 hands that I can see. It is the hand of Honorable Hendricks and that of Honorable Matuba. And of course, the hand of Honorable Tseke. Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and thank you very much for the improvements that were made to the legacy report. Honorable Chair, we are leaving a lot of work for the 7th Parliament we should have done, especially that strategic meeting. And I think it's an insult for the committee that the department talks about improved consequence management and not full consequence management. That is a blot on this committee. And we tried our best. But this department, they just, it's like, I don't know what to call it. We know that there are 1,000 disciplinary cases or cases that must go to the criminal court. There's nothing in this report. And I feel it's important that the 7th Parliament starts jailing people and disciplining them and firing them, because the whole water and sanitation is a mess. I don't see any official being charged in terms of the NEMA Act and rotting in jail, because sanitation and pit toilets and all of that has been a big problem. We're giving a lot of work, Honourable Chair, to the 7th Parliament. But that mustn't detract from the leadership of the chairman, the best endeavours of the committee. The chairman himself said that the last 4 ministers, there should be consequential management. I think this minister has improved things. It got better. His deputy has also helped, and things have got better, but they didn't have enough time to clean up the mess. We know that the officials from the tester right up to the senior people, most probably the worst officials that we have in government, and the poor executive has been battling. I hope the 7th Parliament don't have the same problems we have. Political parties like Al-Jamah, we have to take the blame for the mess in Joburg at the moment. Everyone is blaming us, and you, Mr. Chairman, know who's to blame. There's no consequential management, and this department officials, Director General, everyone included, they are not carrying out their constitutional mandate to ensure that there is access to water for everyone in South Africa, never mind Al-Jamah's position that there should be a right to water. But thank you very much. I think, this is a positive report, and I will give the committee for its hard work 8 out of 10. Thank you very much.
Matuba.
Thank you very much, Chair. The report is quite informative, and I agree with the contents of the report, except where one would want the administration to look into it, especially when it comes to the list, the attendance list to the committee proceedings and its functions. Chair, I would want us to correct, especially on my name and the name of Honorable Koniso Pasing, because I came in to replace Honorable Member Koniso Pasing, and I was not in Parliament during that time, the period of that time. And when you look at the master plan, it says that I had attended committee earlier than March. I joined Parliament in August 2022, and therefore would like to see a true reflection on my attendance from August. The committee was in September 2022. If we can rectify that, I do not have any problem of moving to adopt this particular report with those corrections. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Tseke. Honorable Tseke, are you there? No, she's
Yes,
not.
Chair, I'm here. No,
Okay.
I'm here, Chair. Thank you so much. Thank you very much also to our support staff, Shireen, in compiling this legacy report. I think if we remember well, when we look at the timelines, it was presented late last year. And I think all the parties or all of us, we have been able to make some inputs in enriching this document or legacy report to be what it is today. And I think we are all proud that this is the work that we have done in the sixth administration. As much as there are the work challenges, one, looking at the oversight, I think is correctly captured that we have not done oversight as we would want to do. Chair, remember, we are representing the people of this country. Therefore, we've got a responsibility of making sure that the budget that is approved by Parliament it's implemented on the ground. So these are the issues I think that emanates from this report. Also, I think it's correctly captured in terms of the bills that I think we must have some time frames with regard to the submission of bills by department. But that nonetheless, Chair, I think I would want to appreciate the work that our support staff have done, and also to thank everybody who contributed also. I think this is a true reflection of the work that we have done since 2019 up until this far. I think if Honorable Myogo has supported the report, I therefore second this report for the adoption by the committee. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much. I must say that I find the report to be very informative and very informative to ourselves. But I must say, Honorable Hendricks, that you will know that yesterday, the day before yesterday, there was a report which came from Parliament about the 40 plus 50 senior officials who have been on the payroll for more than 5, 6 to 10 years, who are suspended. And the questions were raised. Amongst those, there were many of our departmental HODs that are in that list, who consistently, when we have to go to court, they bring their lawyers ask for postponement. If not postponement, they ask for other documentation. And the law allows them to do that. So they have been delaying these processes. But I agree with you that we were supposed to have dismissed. We had a committee as led by members, former member Susan Shabangu, who were supposed to have dismissed the people. We did not. And I think we must not have beat ourselves too much. We've tried our best. And this is the reflection of what we did. And I think we really need to take the point that there is an improvement on the issue. The issue of the water in Joburg. Remember, in Joburg, Joburg has got an entity called Joburg Water. They have to take responsibility of reticulating water to people. But there is also then, out of that, there is now we have given Rand Water to help them. It is an intervention. It's not necessarily that it is the responsibility of Friend Water to give water to Joburg, but there's Joburg Water that must also take responsibilities to reticulation of water to their people. We have even now appointed the city of Joburg in Gauteng, the Joburg Water, because they are very capable under your mayorship, Honorable Hanif. Joburg Water is very capable. We have allowed them to help in CDBing and involve because they are capable. So there is work that your mayor is doing under Joburg, but unfortunately there was too much backlog that we could not face the reality of finalizing everything that is there. With that in case, I don't see a hand that wanted to say something else. The legacy report is adopted and accepted. Thank you very much, Sherin. Very informative. You could not write verbatim. I'm sure the 6th, 7th Parliament have got a document to work on. I must thank all of you for, of course, correct the issue of the absenteeism or the non-attendance or the attendance of people, because it remains a record. So if people are misrecorded, it might be wrong. But for all of you that we have been together here since 2019, of course, Honorable Meyogo and Marty, who joined us later, well done. This is the report that we can be proud of, that in our term of office, we did not drop the ball. And I want to thank you very much. The support you gave without necessarily fighting with me all the time, and you have never been petty politically. Of course, we have differed politically here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what Parliament is all about. Thank you very much. Nosipa?
Chairperson.
What is the next item?
Adoption of the bill report.
Oh,
They have been adopted, Mas.
Chairperson.
Oh, you mean the bill?
The bill was adopted. The bill was adopted, not the bill report. Yes, the bill was adopted. Now it's the bill report.
The bill report, right?
It's long, Muslims. The report, the bill report is looking.
We're already in another item of legacy report.
This is the board report that must go in for ATC.
You go, where is it?
And I just scroll through it quickly.
Okay. Yeah, kiss who when I'm telling man, kiss who as speaking.
Hey, Jingle.
yeah.
Kiss who I'm for to kiss who. Okay, Sherin.
I'm going to quickly scroll through it, Chairperson. Okay, it's the report of the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation, considered the National Water Resources Infrastructure. It was introduced in the National Assembly as a proposed 75 bill with the explanatory summary of the bill and prior notice of its introduction in Government Gazette number 49063 of 1st August 2023. The bill was tabled and referred to the committee on the 25th of August 2023. The English text is the official text of the bill, and the bill seeks to provide for the establishment of the South African National Water Resource Infrastructure Agency as a state-owned company and major public entity, to provide for the objects and functions of the agency, and the other provisions are listed below. On 19 September 2023, the Department of Water and Sanitation briefed the committee on the bill in a virtual meeting. In facilitating effective public participation in the bill, the committee published a call for public comments, with the comment period lapsing on 4th of November 2023. There were various reasons for partial support and complete rejection of the bill. Many of the comments from the general public that did not support the bill were not specific to the content of the bill, but related to the intent of the bill, which is the establishment of the agencies. These individuals believed there was no need to establish a new agency. The government should hold the existing institutions accountable and capacitate them to provide these services. They also indicated that creating the agency would unnecessarily increase the cost of water and privatize water services and their supply. In addition, they were concerned that the agency would provide a conducive environment for corruption, cronyism, and maladministration. Two substantive written submissions discussed the content of the bill and were received from the South African National Biodiversity Institute and the Western Cape Provincial Government. SANBI supported the bill in their submission with suggestions on where it could be enhanced, but did not wish to make an oral submission. The Western Cape Provincial Government did not support the bill as they were uncertain if the DWS conducted a socio-economic impact assessment. The department confirmed that the presidency approved the final socio-economic impact assessment in June 2023, and the National Treasury has independently reviewed and assessed a business case for the NWRIA. Several suggestions were made regarding grammatical changes and drafting suggestions. Oral submissions were received from the National Economic Development and Labour, NEDLAC, SALGA, National Treasury, and the Congress and COSATU. The Department of Water and Sanitation responded to the issues raised during the public hearings on the 28th of November, 2023. The committee deliberated on amendments on 6th February and 20th February. The Portfolio Committee proposed and adopted numerous amendments in respect of the following clauses 1, 3, 7, 9, 17, 34, and 35. Clause 1 addressed a correction to a reference to a section within the Act regarding the definition of water work. Clause 3 replaced the term shareholding with share to align with contracts properly. Clause 5 rejected the clause as Clause 3.9 already addresses the essence of Clause 5. Even if Clause 5 is removed, Clause 3.9 still ensures the application of the Companies Act and Public Finance Management Act. Clause 7 clarifies the role of the National Assembly or Parliament. Clause 9, the proposal suggests that the board must initially adopt an interim code of conduct acceptable to the minister. Clause 11, the proposed amendments change to non-executive board members' composition qualifications. Clause 17, it clarifies the concept of a special majority. Clause 34, the role of Parliament in the submission of quarterly reports and corporate plans. And Clause 35, role of Parliament in financial statements and annual report in terms of its oversight. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, colleagues. There is the report. There's the report. Can I get a move and a second of the report? Honorable Matuba.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the adoption of the report.
Thank you very much. It's either we support or reject. We can't keep quiet.
No, Chair, I'm here. I've raised my hand.
Why is your hand brown when others are yellow?
I don't know, Chair. I'm brown. An African.
Honorable Patterson and then Honorable Tseke.
Chairperson, I second the proposal of MP Matuba.
Okay. Honorable Tseke. Oh, the hand is gone now.
No, our second week.
Okay, okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. This the next item. If any no people.
We are done, Chairperson.
Are there no minutes for? Are there no minutes to be adopted? Are you sure?
Chair, before you close.
Okay.
Thanks so much. I think when we were processing the apologies, I think I forgot to raise the apology of Honorable Nancy Sikhloai. She's still on sick leave after an operation.
Yeah,
Can
that's
it
very
be
important because
such?
this is our last meeting. She must not be recorded wrongly.
Yes, Chair. Thanks.
Consider that, note that when no people.
Yes, Chairperson.
Unless we might have something in next week, which might be to adopt minutes and others. This might be our last meeting of the year. Is am I correct, Nosipo?
Committees are still sitting in the next 2 weeks, Chairperson. So if the committee decides so, but there's still 2 Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that unless we are going to be called for something different. Yes.
Is it possible for the committee to look at the third quarter financial and non-financial performance report of the department?
When?
Is that still outstanding?
Okay.
23, 24.
Will it be ready by next week?
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay. So thank you very much. Till we meet then, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. I will have thanked you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thanks.